I'm from the old days. I was a customer engineer initially, and the last 20 years I've been a systems engineer. I came up through the ranks working on the old unit record equipment. I worked on 1400s, 360s, 370s, and recently the system 34s and 38s. I'm now studying 4300s, and I guess the old cliche, they try to teach old dogs new tricks, applies to me. But I deal with many different accounts. I don't have one large account as the previous gentleman said. I have publishers, I have distributors, some manufacturing accounts. Primarily the last 4 years I've worked, not 4 years, I'm sorry, within the last 2 years I've worked on primarily the System 38. Prior to that it was the 34s. Are you a 38 person also? Listening to the other people talk, it sounds like they're all large systems. I'm here primarily to see, my manager says I have to learn to get up and stand in front of a group, and it's probably very obvious. So I have taught some System 34 Matrix classes. I brought some material along to try to use that as a background, but it's been probably 4 or 5 years since I stood up and taught any classes. As I was telling Gloria earlier in the day, I read an article recently that said most people would rather get stood up in front of a firing squad than stand up in front of a group. And I know how they feel, because that's exactly how I feel standing up here. That's about class. Parked over at the Sheraton, and everything is going great. We had all week long, it was a real enjoyable class. Nights I had my car up here, I always drive up to Detroit, and everything was going great. Went Friday morning, I backed out of the parking lot, pulled it in the drive, nothing, just wouldn't move. And so, get a little more gas, and finally got it over here, and I said, well, we'll look at it after class. And we got involved in the class. He had some questions, I had some questions. He asked the instructor. Forgot all about it until we went out. But we stuck around till about 4 o'clock. And I had talked him into coming up to class with me. He usually likes to drive himself. I talked to him. I said, well, let's not both drive. He has a little compact car, and I said, well, go in my car because it's all checked out. And his wife was leaving the following morning for vacation in Iowa. So he was pretty anxious to get home that evening. And so we went out and hopped in the car and forgot about it, pulled it in gear, nothing happened. So finally, after grinding a little bit, got out and checked the transmission fluid. Everything's fine. No loss of fluid. And anyhow, I finally coaxed it over the gas station here. They said, we don't do anything. Go down to the next place there. Went down there, finally got it moving. Went in the next gas station. They said, we can't do anything for you. Just keep, over there's a transmission shop. So we went over, started out of the station, and there's the entrance ramp on 39. I said, George, if we get this thing going, I'm going to keep it moving. So we kept moving, didn't stop, and all of a sudden we got to Toledo, and the drawbridge is up. So we got there in a big line of traffic. We sat there for about 15 minutes, and drawbridge goes down, put it in gear, and thank goodness it started up, didn't stop. It slowed down a little bit as we went through the toll. Took the ticket from the girl. She looked a little startled because she didn't, she was holding them out there. Took it right out of her hand, and I got down there and paid the toll at the other end. Didn't stop all the way. We didn't take a break or anything. Pulled off and paid the toll, and you could see him sitting there. He was kind of, he was kind of chewing his nails and sweating there. But we got him home, and thank goodness I got him home. I had a hard time getting from his house to my house, which was about 3 miles. But we finally got there. That's about the funniest joke I could think of. Setting the stage as you're users of our systems, and you want to implement, your company wants to implement order entry and invoicing. And you're volunteers again, like we are here for this course. it's what I'm going to talk about is the order entry and invoicing portion of Mapix. And to start here, I don't know what after all this changing here, I'm going to have a hard time deciding which foils to use.
Fred,
Yes.
I'd like you to start all over again.
Okay.
And
Well, I was just trying to set the stage here. I hope.
okay, but you said who we are, but just don't talk about the foils and don't talk about what you're going to talk about. Just start right off and let's see how professional you can be.
All right, fine.
Okay.
Are we all set then? Okay, fine. Okay, my name is Fred Juergens. I'm a systems engineer in the Cleveland office. And all the people here, I'd like you to be comfortable, take your coats off. We'll be here for half a day. I hope not. Anyhow, have you all heard of Mapix? Mapix stands for Manufacturing Production Information Control System, which is one of the IBM acronyms. Mapix, as maybe you've heard, has been described as an elephant. How do you eat an elephant? Has anybody ever tried to eat an elephant? You have to take it one bite at a time, and the bite we're going to take today is the order entry and invoicing process. Now, your company has selected you to be here, and we'll just present an overview of this in a half-day session. And in the overview, we'll discuss order processing. How do you go about entering the order? How do you control the order? How are you able to inquire and get up-to-date information regarding that order? We'll look at the various reports that are available as a byproduct of the entry of the order. Also, after your order is entered, you're able to, you have to do file maintenance on the order, because I'm sure all of you have had orders come into your businesses, and you've had to change the orders, delete items, and add items. And maintenance is always one of the considerations that we have to look at. Also, we'll also show you the various file listings that are available, output reports that are available to your management teams to use the information that's available on the Mapix system.
Okay, Fred, let's stop.
Okay.
Put your notes aside.
Okay.
This is kind of putting you on the spot, Fred, but I think
It's
you
all right.
should do it.
It's all right.
Without the speech, would you give me an example of a company with the order processing, and give me of the maintenance? Give me a little vignette. Explain it to me. Explain it to me. I don't understand.
Okay, file maintenance is once the order is entered, your customers have called in, said we want to add an item, change a quantity that's ordered, or delete an item. Okay, is this just for this purpose? Okay. You have to do that. This is something that every system has to provide. You're probably doing it manually now, so you manually can think of how you're going to do this. But to do this on a system is, the programs are provided. What we want to show you is that all of the functions are available in the system.
Okay, and what about that's the other thing, maintenance? Was that
That was maintenance, I
Well,
thought.
that processing.
Well, I was going to touch on that a little bit more later on. The processing is the actual entry of the order. How it's selected is processed through the picking lists are printed. The shipping department then picks the picking from the picking list that picks the products that are available, and then information is fed back to the system. Invoices are prepared.
Any kind of problems you can run into?
Oh, absolutely.
Like what? Tell me about a problem.
Well, the problems supposedly are going to be, hopefully, will be taken care of.
Like what? But what were some of the problems?
Well, no, hold on now. You can tell I'm not used to stand up. Problems, hopefully the Mapix, the application that we will provide will circumvent the problems.
Like what? What kind of problems will circumvent?
I don't know, frankly. No, I can't think of a problem that, maybe you people can think of problems.
How about something where it takes 2 weeks to get an order entered, and with Apex you could do it in a day?
Oh, yeah.
That's turnaround on orders.
Or, pardon me?
Turnaround on orders.
Well, you can do inquiries into the order. Once it's entered into the system, you can look into it and see what the status of it is. If it has been actually entered, if it's been in the picking department, or if it's been invoiced and shipped even. You can tell the customer then that the status of their order. But problem-wise, there's all kinds of problems, but we wouldn't tell the customer that.
No, I'm talking about before, the kind of problems that they had. All right, did you all see the difference in Fred just now when he was talking to me and explaining it?
Much more relaxed.
Wasn't he as different in his smile, his animation, his warmth? You know your subject. I want you to look at that on the tape, and then I want to talk to you about it afterwards. You were discussing it with me, like on a
Short evening last night. We had very short notice to do some preparation here, but I would like to take this opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Fred Juergens. I'm the systems engineer who has been recently assigned to your account. I've met Ray. He's your director of data processing, and Megan, or Kathy Megan, is the marketing rep who is attending the session with me this morning. So we're going to try to present some facts that we have become aware of and discuss them with you in regard to your data processing needs. Now, how many people here have before we get into that, how many people here have a car that's over 10 years old? Anyone here? You must be car buffs, because not too many people, if you look around on the streets nowadays, there aren't that many cars that are that old. But I want to tell you that your system has been installed now for 10 years. And actually it's reaching the limit of its productivity. It's actually becoming very obsolete. How many times have you, as a user of the system, been asked what information, and when a customer calls in, do you give him current information? You probably go to your desk, pull out a list, and return the call to the customer, and the information you give him is probably at least a day or two old. Someone else may call in and order a product, and they inquire if you can deliver it. You may go again and look at your inventory list. It may be obsolete because the product has been shipped off your shelf. What I'm trying to stress here is that the information that you're handling is obsolete. It's no more current. I'm sorry, it's not current. That's the whole point of the fact here, that with your system you cannot keep your data current. As you all know, your business is tied up completely in the system. It's not timely. Your inventory, your customer accounts, and your sales information is also obsolete. So now, what would you like to do? Ray and I have discussed some of the problems, and he's told me what you're doing. I've become aware of what account, what applications you're running. I also know he tells me what you would like to do. What you would like to do is have this information instantly available. The only way that I can, the current way, the state-of-the-art of the business now is to have workstations, and many people call them CRTs, display terminals, whatever you want to call them, whatever the terminology you prefer to use. That is the state-of-the-art now. Wouldn't you like to be able, when a customer calls in, to turn around and key his name in, instead of trying to look up his customer number on a list and then going to another list and try to find out what actually looking up the information from his number? It's a two-step process in that case. Wouldn't you rather just key his name in and do a search on his name and take it directly from a screen, pick up the information within a matter of seconds? How about your salesman? Wouldn't you like to be able to send your sales representative to a customer with a list of what the customer has been buying recently, and maybe more importantly, what he hasn't bought recently? You could have that information all stored in your system and have instant access to it. Another thing that you probably have become very much aware of is that sales, I'm sorry, not sales, sales we hope to go up, but the cost of your personnel has been constantly rising. And you may have heard it, you may have seen it in many articles, but the cost of hardware is coming down constantly. I have a little foil that may help to show that.
Fred,
Yes.
before we do the question and answers, I have and we may try again, I have a real challenge.
Okay.
I'd like for you, even before, without even going to work on your practice or anything, I'd like you to start your speech over. Give it from, you know the knowledge now, no notes. Like just start, don't even talk about the car situation, just talk about you need some new equipment and these are your problems, and just talk to us.
Okay. Very good. My name is Juergens. I'm a systems engineer who's been recently assigned to your account. I've discussed your data processing needs with your director of data processing, and what we find is that your system is 10 years old. 10 years usefulness of a system is a point where we call obsolescence. What I'd like to see your company do is get a system that is a new state-of-the-art system that has correct database, which allows you instant access to the data that's stored in the system. And rather than have you looking at lists and reports that represent data that are possibly a day or a week old, have instant access to that data. Wouldn't you prefer to go to a workstation and when a customer calls in, key his name in and access his information within a matter of seconds rather than doing a 2 or 3 step process to access that data? What we'd like to do at this time is show you a system that we would like to have your director of data processing come down and you at our center with us. This is the IBM system. I didn't get to this one. This is the IBM System 38. It's a computer that's state-of-the-art. It has the latest architecture. It supports the newest type of database, and it's user-friendly, which means that it's very easy to use. At our data center, we have a project that we call Magic. What we have is your data processing director come down to the center. He brings some data down there, and for a half-a-day session, we have him go through a series of steps that will prove to him how easy the system is to use. I'm
Doing
shocked.
marvelously.
No, I'm shocked. No, anyhow, we would like to have him come down, present, work with him for half a day. After the half a day, have you, one of you people, or many of you people come down and he can show you what he's accomplished.
I know you're going to give him cards, but what did you think of that? Much better.
Second one is much better.
Yeah. You know your information. You were so, Fred, you were so sure that you wanted to put,
Right.
to get everything on these notes so badly that you kept looking down and looking down.
That's
The
right.
whole, and to see, this is what I was talking to all of you about yesterday. This is too many notes. You all, oh,
Love you more.
This is, Fred knows, and look how personable and warm, and he knows his material. You all know your material. The whole idea of writing out a speech the first time is to get the blueprint, to be sure you know everything you want to say, that you don't want to forget something. Then you just put it on an outline, a few, just 1, 2, 3, 4 words where
Yeah.
you could glance. When you got this,
Yeah,
what
I
happens
reference
is
it all
you're
the
looking
time.
down and you couldn't find it, and then it made you nervous. When you without it, what's your take? Wasn't he excellent? Really good. Let's have some questions.
He thought he was gonna get away.
Yes, hi Ray. You're
Hi.
the data director of data processing.
And as that director, I have to have the philosophy for my company as an officer of being a two-vendor shop. The Amdol representative that was in the other day told me that he has a system which is at least equivalent, if not better than the 38. Could you comment on that, please?
Well, I would prefer you come down and look at our system and you make that evaluation yourself. I think there is a good place in every account for possibly one or more systems, but I think our 38 will prove to you that it is far superior. Are there any other questions?
Very good question.
Let's have some more questions.
Please. Yes, Carlos.
How does this interface to video text?
I'm glad you asked that because I'm sure there's a black box that will interface between your videotape and our system 38.
I didn't mean for you to make racial implications there.
Now, are there any other questions? Yes, Tom.
Is the director the right person to go down to this magic show? Is he the person that's going to be working with this system, or should I have some of my other people, clerks and that, or maybe
Well,
programmers?
I'll leave that up to your director of data processing. I think probably one of the most knowledgeable people in your data processing department should come down with the data. Are there any other questions? Megan, is the marketing rep here going to ask me something?
No,
I
no,
thought
I just
shut
changed-
you out that way.
changed paths. I am now the director of data processing's boss, and I'm saying, he doesn't have enough time to do this. Couldn't we have one of the programmers evaluate it, and he can tell us what he thinks of it?
No, I don't. Megan has asked, I'm sorry, Kathy has asked whether or not Ray has the time to come down and take a look at our system. I think that Ray is the only person that really can evaluate this. I think if he has to take the time, I think it's up to your company. It's a benefit to your company sufficiently that it deserves his time. Okay. Again, I'm Fred Juergens. I'm from Cleveland. And for the people in the other group that aardvarks that haven't been with us, I'm from Cleveland. To paraphrase the assignment that we were given, what's going to be different about me as a result of attending this class? This is it. I would never volunteer to get up and speak in front of a group. That was a long time for me. I never would get up there. But I've been sitting there all week, and I've been watching Barbie and Kathy and Linda come up here, and they come up here, smile, very confident, go through, very professional, go through their presentations, and I'd sit there. And the longer I sat there, the more difficult it became to get up here. I just couldn't, with 30 people today, that lack of ice in my stomach was going to freeze me right to the chair. Just no way I was going to get up there. Anyhow, I decided yesterday, especially when I heard that we could leave as soon as we gave our talk. I got scared, I'm not that dumb. So, nobody else apparently has offered Glory or Dean Moore to get up here first. So, the only one other fellow I think is bigger than I am, anyhow. So. Anyhow, I decided to come up here and give it a shot. Really, the assignment, what's going to be different when I get back to the branch? I'll be able to make better presentations. I've never made a presentation. Bound to be better. And, I'll be a more valuable resource. Hopefully, I can ask them for a raise out of that. My letter writing, I'll be able to write masterpieces when I get back there. I've got my stylist style. I'll know all the right terms, netted out, bottom line. I'll be able to look for all those dangling and misplaced modifiers. I'll have it cold. So really, I probably won't make a great deal of difference when I get back to the branch, really. All I can hope to do is take some of the techniques that have been presented and apply them to my personal and business life. I've really learned a lot of good technical information, really, from the presentations. I don't think I would have ever heard of the Buffalo Glass Company or the optical security system. We've got a real demand for that in Cleveland. But seriously, the best part of this week is I really enjoyed myself, as strange as it seemed. And I've enjoyed studying and meeting with all of you. And that's